As soon as we started seeing the box office projections for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, people knew there was good reason to be worried at Disney and Lucasfilm, because even the earliest, most positive projections barely had it beating out what Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did all the way back in 2008, around $100 million domestically. Unfortunately, the closer and closer we got to the movie's release, the worse and worse it got. We saw the projection that dropped to 60 to 70 million. Here we are today. We now know that is the worst case scenario for Disney. $60 million at the domestic box office, and the global number is even worse. $130 million global opening for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. This is a disaster of epic proportions because, like we found out months ago, the budget for Indiana Jones 5 is massive. It is likely upwards of $300 million. And with an estimated $150 million when you're looking at the marketing budget combined, that means they've got at least $450 million invested into this thing. This is now a movie with this opening tracking, worse than something like The Flash, worse than something like Black Adam, that might not hit $400 million worldwide. That is a pathetic embarrassment for Lucasfilm, and it might end up being one of the biggest flops in Disney history. And so, of course, now we have the rumor that seems to persist, that lingers, that never goes away. Yet another rumor claims that Kathleen Kennedy is now gone from Lucasfilm. Now, if you've paid attention over the past, 5 years, it seems like this rumor's out there every single month. And every single month, it's absolute bullshit. But obviously this time might be a little different because Lucasfilm just gave Disney what may be their biggest box office loss of all time. If this movie tracks the way people expect it to at this point and reaches $400 million, that is likely something that is going to lose Disney at least $250 million at the box office when you take into account the box office revenue that the theaters get to keep. Around half, just for good measure. A little more than half domestically, around 40% internationally, but you might as well make the math easy and call it about half. That would be a nightmare. And so now, once again, here is the rumor mill for Kathleen Kennedy. Another rumor is making the rounds that Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy is now gone from Lucasfilm. Now, the reason that this is coming out now is because there is actually a tweet out there from a scooper, has a couple thousand followers on Twitter, who has a couple things in his history where he tweeted something and it ended up happening, right? I'm hearing Kathleen Kennedy is now gone from Lucasfilm. This happened the day of the premiere. So this is before even the full box office numbers were realized. And of course, as soon as this happens, you have this person and that person saying, oh, well, my sources say this, but conflicting sources say that. And maybe this is happening or maybe it's not. At the end of the day, you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. Kathleen Kennedy has been at Lucasfilm for 11 years now. She has been destroying Lucasfilm for over a decade. She has now destroyed Star Wars, Willow, and now Indiana Jones. There's virtually nothing left for her to do. So at this point, if they were to come out and say we're parting ways with Kathleen Kennedy, too little, too late. It's not like anything's going to change. It's not like anything would be fixed. But in terms of these rumors, I'll say this. Wake me when it's an actual fucking headline. Wake me when the story breaks. Because even when it does happen, even when Kathleen Kennedy is ready to leave, because that's kind of what I think it'll be. The woman is nearly 70 years old after all. Whenever it does happen, they're going to congratulate her. They're going to say, Kathleen Kennedy did an amazing job. She did the new Star Wars trilogy. She brought Star Wars into the next generation. She did this thing. She did that. She was so incredible for us. And what an incredible woman to have done all these things for Lucasfilm. And they'll applaud and they'll clap. And they're not going to fire her. They're not going to embarrass her publicly. At least I don't think so. And I would be surprised if they did. Whether or not this is going to be the last straw doesn't really fucking matter. How many last straws should there have been? This should have happened years and years ago, but it didn't. And now we are where we are. Star Wars is destroyed, not just in the movies, but also with all this Disney Plus garbage. Indiana Jones has now been embarrassed and destroyed as well. There's not much more damage that this woman can actually do. So Indiana Jones is a massive disaster for Disney and Lucasfilm, easily set to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. The real question is, will it be the worst box office disaster in Disney history? Will it be worse than something like Solo, which lost around $200 million? Will it be worse than John Carter, which lost over $200 million for them? certainly looks like it's well on its way to becoming one of the worst and most epic disasters in Disney box office history.